now that I got the new mesh network going on.
Your mesh network.
I probably won't sound like a robot anymore.
I thought it was your father's network you were helping hook up.
Oh, I was helping him because I can't have one up on him.
Oh, okay.
So I get mesh network. He gets mesh network.
Do you want me to do the thing?
Hi, everybody. No, hi, everybody. Welcome back to the B Plus podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna work it in somewhere.
Episode 36.
You won't see it coming. No one will.
We're gonna be a little bit. I'm gonna be a little bit more calm than the last one because I got a little mad about net neutrality and all the evil things they're doing to us.
Well, it's not net neutrality that's doing anything evil to us. It's
taking it away.
Yes. Tonight we're going to talk about providers and how you should be able to navigate selecting the right one for you.
Well, what spawned this was a bunch of horseshit that me and you went through in order to get phones. If anybody remembers, the Galaxy Note 7 came out, and to a lot of I watch a lot of tech YouTube. So to a lot of tech YouTubers, they said even at the end of the year that it was their favorite phone of all time. But as you know, the Note 7, and if you didn't know, it started blowing up.
Well, to be fair, it was like a certain lower percent. So like those are the ones they had to be recalled for. And I had an awful waffle time with like having.
It was real, man. It was real. Like,
I mean, mine never did. I kind of wanted to keep mine. But they eventually the first recall gave me another one, then the second recall, and then like to make sure to get everyone that was still out in the wild, every single phone, at&t, my provider, kind of like software broke the phone where it can only charge maybe to like 60%. So that got me to bring it in. And after that, I had to pick from the phones they had in the store. So I ended up picking S7 Edge because it was kind of like Note 7, but I didn't really want that phone. So I got stuck with a phone that I kind of didn't want. And then I ended up having an experience of like coming in, getting phone switched, data switched over, losing stuff, not losing stuff, waiting 4 hours, being there too long. Like after a while, I'm just like, wow, what's going on with AT&T's customer service? It's kind of sucking a little bit. And then like, it just left me like with a really bad taste in my mouth. I was kind of raw about the whole thing. And before I knew it, I'm getting my 8 and I'm getting like some weird charges that they hand back my my S7 in and it finally got all resolved yesterday, which I was really happy about. But it's like I don't ever want to have to deal with all that again. The waiting, the calling, the talking, the figuring out where does this have to go? Does it have all the right numbers? Did this data get switched over? Like I don't want to ever do any of that again.
Well, I would never stick up for carriers ever. I said it on the Net Neutrality podcast that I feel that they charge you and do their dirty deeds for data in 2017 going on 2018 is absolutely ridiculous. When you have your everything is YouTube, Twitter has video, all these people are really in the video and really in the audio. Streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play Music, all of these things use your data, and they the fact that people think that these companies are going to play nice with net neutrality gone is fucking retarded because they're not even playing nice now.
No. But we're worried about this system being applied to our already somewhat unlimited internet that we have in our houses.
Right. Where I was going with that is the only reason why I would defend them in this is that Samsung came out and said, we will take care of you guys when our next phone is released. At the time, we didn't know if it was going to still be called the Note, if they were going to stay with the Note series, or if they were going to change it to something else. But
what exactly did they say they would do?
They didn't say anything. They just said, we will take care of you when the next phone comes out. So when that happened, I went on and started looking around, and the deal was like, I don't know, some bullshit like we'll give you $300 or something towards it.
Okay.
They weren't, but the problem is that Samsung's like, we'll give you this discount on the phone, but in the meantime, we switched to other phones, which then they came around and said, well, you're not paid up.
You're not paid off yet. You didn't pay off your current plan, which is a lease.
Right. So what would happen is that you would go buy, use Samsung's deal, and all the carriers, well, Verizon, who I'm on, was saying, we don't deal with this. You got to go through Samsung. They're the people that are offering you guys compensation for the Note 7 fiasco.
Yeah, and then
So,
AT&T at the same time was telling me you're SOL because you're not done with the plan you were already put on with the Edge S7. And then I'm just like, wait a minute, how is this my problem? This was your problem from the beginning. They're like, no, sorry. As AT&T being a provider, it wasn't our problem. It was a Samsung deal. I'm just
yep.
like, but I never ended up with the phone that I wanted, and now I have to worry about a balance of a phone that you gave me late because I had to hand it in twice. I'm like,
Twice.
oh my God, this is so frustrating. Like I was very, you know what? I think I'm getting frustrated right now just talking about it.
Yeah. So we so they were gonna give you. Let's just say I'm pretty sure it was like $300. It was a shit number. So you're buying, it was what, $800 phone, $700 phone, whatever it was back then, and they're gonna give you $300. But in the meantime, you still owe, let's just call it $400 for another year to your carrier. So now technically you're gonna have 2 leases out.
Yeah, great.
Or you're gonna buy the Note 8 outright with the $300 discount. So let's say, it was a $900 phone. So let's say you would have to spend $600 out of pocket and then continue paying a lease on a phone that you don't want.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a little more screwed than you because being a Google fan, I went with the first generation Pixel, which they don't offer. They only offer the, when you're on a lease, you could pay off 50% of your phone and then trade it in 1 year.
Yeah.
To upgrade. You just hand in your phone and they would give you the other one because obviously they could turn around and sell it for God knows how much and make a buck on it. But for people like me who want the latest technology all the time, it's a pretty cool thing. I like it. But I was shit out of luck because they said, we don't offer that for Pixels. So I found a Facebook group through Reddit, and they said, contact this number, this corporate Verizon number. And I contacted them, and they helped out actually really, really, really well. And it's funny because nobody knows these things, and it's just weird that you have to go through that, like that you can't go through. I might have went through four people, let's call them, I don't know, regular employees or managers or stuff like that. They couldn't help me out. I called corporate. She said, hold on. She came back and she was like, we're buying out your lease. You're upgrade eligible. You're ready to go. And then they came back around and said, which is still a fiasco. I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. They came around and said you could put your Pixel towards your Note payments, so it'll make less money. Which I went on maybe 3 or 4 times. My Pixel was never eligible to do their recycling or whatever they want to call it, their trade-in, to get money back towards our account. So I just went and dealt with Google because their customer service is awesome. So,
okay.
I'm still waiting on it, but I should be credited at like $410 for the Pixel, which is great because it's half the price of the phone. So
410 with Google.
Yeah.
Not Verizon.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So technically it's the same thing. They were going to give me 400 or something towards the other one. But
yeah. Well, at least you got out of your situation, which you got into. And then I got into the same situation. Unfortunately, drove to a couple stores, did a lot of phone calls. This is October and November. Eventually got on the phone with the right people at AT&T and got to a supervisor or a manager on. Explained my story in full. Like 20 minutes went by and they're like, okay, we understand what's happening here. Send back your old phone and we're gonna credit the account the money that it was like $400. And like the nightmare stopped. And I don't know. Like after the nightmare stops. And the thing is that it makes me wonder, like for the future. I don't mind being in an AT&T family plan with my family. It's cost effective, yes, because it's a family plan. But looking at the research I did today, there's other providers that have better deals.
Yeah, but it's not as strong. That's the whole thing, man. Like everybody should be on T-Mobile, but no one's on T-Mobile.
I don't know. I'm looking at some research here done by Tom's Guide. Okay. Right. And T-Mobile was #1 last year. So I'm with you about T-Mobile. I really am. AT&T moved down to 3. Number 1 last year was T-Mobile. Verizon just squeaked past them for first. And it's about performance, plans, customer service, phone selection, and special features. And let's say that performance is 40 points, plans is 25 of total max that you can earn. Customer service is 20, phone selection is 10, and 5 is about special features. Like Verizon just got past them, just got past T-Mobile.
Right.
And that's like, this year. So I'll go down the list. Number 1, Verizon. Number 2, T-Mobile. Number 3, AT&T. Number 4, Metro PCS, my personal favorite. Number 5th would be Sprint. 6th, Boost. 7th, Cricket. 8th, Virgin, and then 9th is Straight Talk. Straight Talk's like abysmal.
Do they have pricing on there?
Yeah.
What's show what ranks highest on pricing? I'm just curious.
It's the combination of the performance, plans, customer service, phone selection, and special features. So if you want to go into like what pricing is going to be, let me switch to my other site that I was using for that. It depends on whether you're going to be on a family plan or by yourself. So that being said, a low cost carrier like Freedom Pop or Republic Wireless is awesome for one person. Okay, maybe even Ting. For an unlimited mobile plan or something close to it, Metro PCS I'll maintain last year and this year has some awesome deals. And let's see here. I mean, for Metro PCS, you can get 30 a month, 1 gigabyte of 4G LTE, including fees, or 50 a month for unlimited 4G LTE data. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
And basically, like if you're trying to break down, let's see, if you're trying to be part of the major 4, you know what? There's a really good table at cnet.com comparing wireless plan carriers. The other website to try is howardclock.com, the best mobile electronics of the year. And the only other one I had actually referenced was Tom's Guide. Tom's Guide has a really nice guide put together.
Well, that's why he's Tom, and he makes the guides.
And it has what the prices are, cost per month, what would be your total cost per gigabyte, if you had to even like look at it that way. It all depends on what you're trying to do. And you know what's really important? It all depends on what the coverage is like for your area. A lot of people don't even take that into consideration. They see a map of the United States, and it's either it's a color, and the color is the color of that company. But one of the things I'm gonna have to warn people about is everybody on Earth, except for USA and Japan, they just use the worldwide standard, the GSM. It's like a global system for mobile communication. Right. The United States and Japan doesn't. So if you're Verizon or Sprint, right, and you're trying to switch to like the other 2 major carriers, which would be like AT&T or T-Mobile, you're not going to be able to do it because Verizon and Sprint use CDMA, Code Division Multiple Access. Right. So that's why when you're switching from, let's say, Verizon to AT&T or Sprint to T-Mobile or vice versa, or whatever configuration you want to do it on, or a second-tier carrier, you can't switch your phone because they won't work on the networks because the networks are different. I found that research-wise,
like the Google Pixel I had, it's an unlocked phone. It has all the bands in it.
From the research I did, Motorola came in first in being able to work on any network. An iPhone was probably after them, and then probably maybe even Google's Pixel.
I think iPhone, they do some, like if you bought it, let's say through Apple, it has to be unlocked. Mm-hmm. You know, no matter what, if you buy a Verizon iPhone, they have some shit in there that you can't go over and take it over to AT&T if you want to just cancel your plan in the middle or something like that. Yeah. The thing with T-Mobile too is that, you know, people that work at the store have it, and you know they'll give you 10. You know, number one, the pricing is lower than a Verizon. Then they give you 10 gigs, but you know Spotify's doesn't go against it. Netflix doesn't go against it. YouTube doesn't go against it. So, and they have rollover. So these people are talking to me, and they have, you know, they've been, let's say they're with them 5 months, they have 30, 35 gig rolled over because they're using it, but all the stuff that is data heavy, T-Mobile says, nah, it's cool. Don't worry. Like, we're not going to go against you. That other people haven't taken that, like I said, is bullshit. Yeah. Someone like T-Mobile can do that. But the only problem, at least in our area, is that, you know, the service isn't as good. And the reason why Verizon has the best service, at least around us, because CDMA is old technology. So there's a lot more coverage. There's a lot more towers.
It's like because you're using like an older tech, like retro or legacy, like it's going to work better. And for our area, yeah, I have a hard time in certain areas of our area getting service with AT&T. And there's sometimes when I'm talking to you and you're driving and you're like, oh, I'm going to cut out, here it comes. And like, you'll know when it's going to cut out on the highway.
Right.
I'm going to sum up Tom's guide. There was all these factors that were enough to push Verizon past former champ T-Mobile. Though the margin between the two carriers is quite thin, T-Mobile fared well in the customer support and network speed testing, though it finished behind Verizon in most cases, and it sets the pace for both plans and special features. With more wireless users looking to a discount on discount carriers, as a way to save money on their like monthly bill, we recommend Metro PCS. And them saying that, like, I couldn't recommend that more. Doing my research in case I knew that somebody that I was working with or close had to switch providers. All the research I did always landed on Metro PCS as a discount provider. The prepaid carrier has the best performance thanks to T-Mobile's strong network and an attractive mix of plans that overshadows the lackluster showing in our customer service testing. And they just said that like the carrier they can't recommend is Straight Talk, which is like dead last in their rankings. And that's it.
Yeah, one of the or 2 months ago, the rumor came out that T-Mobile and Sprint were going to merge. And I think that would have been pretty awesome because I don't know the thing with Sprint, because Sprint uses CDMA. They're the only other company to use CDMA technology, yet their coverage still blows. So I don't know how that works. But I think if these two join forces, well, I mean,
I don't know if they're going to be allowed to join forces. Something shady like that went to go happen in the past, where AT&T wanted to buy one of the three around them, and the government stopped them, thinking that it would be too much of a monopoly.
Yeah.
So the government at that time, I remember reading, stepped in to be like, no. If you do that, you're going to be too big. Versus who else is going to be floating around in the big four? So get stepping. You can't do that. Get out of here.
What happened to Singular?
Huh?
What happened to Singular?
I don't know. I mean, were they absorbed by AT&T or no?
Yeah, it was AT&T, switched over to Singular, then went back to AT&T. I don't know what happened in that whole thing.
I never looked it up. I just didn't even question it at some certain point. I'm like, well, I guess I'm sticking with AT&T.
Yeah. Choose the one that works for you the best. I mean, it's like people said about our election this year, or it's about just picking the worst of the evils, I guess.
We got to pick, but there's a lot of options because there's a lot of competition there,
Yeah.
So with the competition comes like the variety. So if you're not going with like a tier 1-4, you're going for a second tier, you can get discounts there. There's a lot of discounts to be had.
I think T-Mobile is just awesome with the stuff that they're doing for their users, even if it's not a shitty network, but not as good. But I don't know. It's tough because, in all honesty, like, how much do you use your phone, like your cell phone as a phone?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have them with their phone with them at all times. I know I kind of do, unless I'm sleeping. Check out the best and worst phone carriers of 2017 on Tom's guide. I mean, it's a really good breakdown. I read through the whole thing. I think I watched the video that was like 2 minutes, maybe 3. Yeah. And they do an awesome job of just trying to show you how you want to be able to break things apart and think about things and what's going to work the best for you. It's not bad at all. Those other two that I mentioned earlier, they're good too. And between the three of them, CNET, Howard Clark, and Tom's guide, you can make a very well-informed decision for 2017 and moving into 2018. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, this one at Tom's guide has November 15 stamped on it. So there you go.
I have a little bonus.
Go.
This was let me get it right here.
Okay.
This was posted by Casey Neistat on Twitter, and it has to deal with the FCC with the net neutrality stuff. Okay, so Casey writes on Twitter, take a second, read this bullshit. It was originally tweeted by Barnacle's Nerdgasm.
Okay.
And he's verified. What does he do? He is a 900,000 sub YouTuber, Twitch live streamer, tech reviewer, software developer, ex-Microsoft dev, nerd, 3D printing expert, robotics tutorials, gaming. So this is Barnacle's Nerdgasm. Next time someone tries to tell you that the internet was fine without net neutrality and it going away won't change anything, just remind them of this. 2005, Madison River Communications was blocking VoIP services. The FCC put a stop to it. 2005, Comcast was denying access to P2P services without notifying customers. 2007 to 2009, AT&T was having Skype and other VoIPs blocked because they didn't like there was competition for their cell phones. 2011, Metro PCS tried to block all streaming except YouTube. Edit, they actually sued the FCC over this. 2011 to 2013, AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon were blocking access to Google Wallet because it competed with their bullshit. It actually says edit. This one happened literally months. I didn't understand this the best. So AT&T and Sprint and Verizon were blocking access to Google Wallet because it competed with their bullshit. Edit. This one happened literally months after the trio were busted collaborating with Google to block apps from the Android marketplace.
Oh.
So I don't understand why they would collaborate with Google to block apps from the Android marketplace. Like, wouldn't Google Android and Google, Android is Google software. So why would Google want to block apps from their own marketplace?
So was there some advantage that they would have by doing that same exact thing as a provider only?
Maybe like using like Verizon Messenger, they'd block other messaging apps, and you'd have to choose between. Yeah, maybe that's it.
Was there a deal that could have been made? Right.
Yeah. 2012, Verizon was demanding Google block tethering apps on Android because it let owners avoid their $20 tethering fee. This was despite guaranteeing they wouldn't do that as a part of a winning bid on an airwaves auction. Edit. They were fined $1.25 million over this.
Oh, okay.
2012, AT&T tried to block access. Now, this is when FaceTime first came out on the iPhones.
Yes.
It was a big deal. AT&T tries to block access to FaceTime unless customers paid more money. 2013, and this is the last one, Verizon literally stated that the only thing stopping them from favoring some content providers over other providers were the net neutrality rules that were in place.
Okay. Well, that were in place, right?
So there you go.
Keyword were in place, or about to be in December, or not be in December. So.
But it's for us, man. It's for the greater good.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. That's what you need to tell yourself before you take a nappy nap at night or sleep. Yeah. I can't sleep very well.
We're gonna, if they do this bullshit, we are going to be able to choose to leave.
We're able to choose a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna be able to choose too many things.
Where are we gonna go? We can't go. I can't go anywhere but Comcast. That's it. It's over. Unless I want 7 meg download.
From who? Verizon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's one of the two. So there you go.
And then, even if we had Fios here, Verizon, Comcast, I mean, those are two good options.
We'll make up. We're going to become our own network provider. It's going to be called B Plus Internet, and it's going to stink, and no one's going to want it, and we're not even going to be able to get it to work the right way.
Well, I wish
we'll probably get electrocuted trying to set it up.
Google has one, but that's not around here. Good guy, Google Fiber.
Okay.
But I don't know. But that's it.
That's it.
As always, this is the B Plus Podcast. If you enjoy this, please give us a like. Subscribe so you get all the updates when we go live. I think Nasum's cooking up. I'm going to be probably quiet on that one. But
which one?
Cooking up a Thor podcast.
Ragnarok, yeah, for the trailer. Didn't see the movie yet. I'll be able to elaborate on both, but love the trailer. I had that like kind of when the trailer came out or around the Comic-Con. So we put it off for a while. It took us a bit, but it'll be ready. It'll be cool. Got some other ideas, other things we're going to be able to dish out this week. I'm going to be gone for business and a trip on the weekend. So things might slow up a little bit, but they won't by the time I get back. So, it should be just fine. Here we go, Joe. There, I snuck it in.
And we're going to do the Black Mirror new trailer came out. I'd like to do that Wednesday just because it's big, but we'll see what we're going to do.
Okay.
Black Mirror's probably, dude, Black Mirror's the best show that's ever lived.
I don't know. It sounds like I might have seen that.
Take your
Wasn't that
Game of Thrones and shove it.
like was that a horror movie starring Kiefer Sutherland?
No, that was just mirrors.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I'm like, why are we reviewing this? Didn't this happen a long time ago?
Yeah, Black Mirror is outstanding. It's basically the new Twilight Zone.
Cool.
It's a very
Good.
dark and bleak look at where our lives could head with all this technology.
Okay.
So, just for instance, they had, well, we'll talk about it in the podcast, but
Sure.
that's it. Good night.
Good night.